YouTube, what's up? I hope all of you are having a great day so far. In today's upload, we are going to be going over the top 5 best class setups to use in Vanguard right now. If you find this video helpful at all, a like is greatly appreciated, really helps me out in that YouTube algorithm. And if you are new and you want to see more of my content, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But without further ado, let's get into class number 1. For the first class I want to go over, I want to show you guys a very fast killing SMG, the best SMG for close range engagements. For the secondary, it doesn't really matter since I'm going to be doing 5 classes. I got you guys 5 different secondaries that you should try out. Although you should only be using the ratt and the 1911, I thought might as well show you guys all the classes just in case you guys want to use the other pistols. For the perks on every class, I'm going to be running fortified. I hate dying by explosions and there's so many explosions on this game. So for me, I really like fortified, but this is all going to be personal preference. I'm just showing you guys what I really like. On perk 2, forward intel is very nice for getting lots of kills in a game because it's going to show where the enemies spawn. For perk 3, I would read through them all and find one that you like, but for me, I really like lightweight because I'm very aggressive. On the lethal, I like to do the gammon bomb because it explodes lots of barriers, and so at the beginning of the match I'll usually use a gammon, and then around halfway through I'll switch over to the thermite because the thermite is very overpowered in this game. For the tactical, I just like to do the stim because it helps you get out of sticky situations. If you're one shot and you got someone rushing, you can stim and then you have a higher chance to kill them. But so anyways, on the type 100, so I'm not going to describe every single attachment on it. I'm going to be pretty basic because there's a lot of guns to cover and I think it would take up too much time. With that said, on the muzzle you want to do the recoil booster just to increase the fire rate. It's going to make the TTK a lot faster on this weapon. For the barrel, to help compensate the recoil that this weapon has, you want to do the Srirachi. We are losing some movement speed, but we're going to be throwing on attachments that's going to compensate that. For the optic, I would use whatever you like, but for me, I like the slate reflector. On the stock, you want to do the grip folded just to increase the strafe speed of this weapon. If you strafe during your gunfights, you'll get more aim assist and it's harder for the enemies to hit you. We are losing a lot of our sprint to fire speed, but we're going to throw on gung ho that's going to compensate that. For the underbarrel, you want to do the mark skeletal just to increase the ADS because the ADS speed on this weapon is a little bit slow. On the magazine, if you want this thing to kill as fast as possible, you want to do the Russian short 30 round mags. There is a lot of cons, but trust me, you really don't notice it, and this class kind of compensate most of those cons. On the ammo type, to increase the bullet velocity, making this gun feel way more responsive because the bullets are going to lead the gun and hit the enemies a lot faster, you want to do lengthen. On the rear grip, I like to do fabric just to increase the overall mobility of the weapon. We are increasing the sprint to fire speed, which isn't going to matter, but I really like the hip fire recovery and the ADS speed increase. For the proficiency, make sure you do the gung ho. This is going to maximize your sprint to fire speed because you can fire while sprinting. And lastly, for the kit, because you are going to be very aggressive, you want to do the quick. And just in case you guys want to take a screenshot, the best type 100 setup in Vanguard. With all that said, let's move over to the ratt pistol. Just in case you guys want to take a screenshot of the best ratt setup in Vanguard. With all that said, that is going to wrap it up for the type 100 setup. Now let's get into like a mid-range SMG class. So the best well-rounded SMG is the MP40. You guys probably expected this. On the muzzle, I like to do the recoil booster just to make it so I can kill the enemies a little bit quicker. For the barrel, to make this gun very controllable, you want to do the Krausnick 317mm. For the stock, to increase the overall mobility of the weapon, you want to do the Krausnick 33M folding. On the proficiency, I like to do the momentum because with an SMG, you are going to be pretty aggressive, and so it's nice to move very quick after you kill someone. For the type 100 that I just explained earlier, you also want to run fully loaded if you're trying to go on long streaks. On the rear grip, I like to do pine tar just to increase the mobility of the weapon and increase that hip fire accuracy. On the magazine, to make this thing kill as fast as possible, you want to do the 32 round mags. And lastly, for the carver foregrip, just to increase the overall feel of the weapon, you want to do the carver foregrip. And just in case you guys want to take a screenshot of the best MP40 class up in Vanguard. With all that said, let's move on to the 1911. Feel free to take a screenshot of the best 1911 class setup in Vanguard. But so anyways, for the AR, I want to show you this is going to be the STG, and you guys probably know why. With that said, I like to do the F8 stabilizer to make it so more of my shots hit the enemy because the gun's going to have virtually no recoil. Also, to help the recoil, you want to do the 760mm. On the optic, I like to do the slate reflector, but I do recommend you guys to use one that you like. On the stock, to also help control the recoil, you want to do the weighted one. This is pretty much going to eliminate all the recoil on the weapon. Say it's a little bit slow, then I would try out the Krausnick S11S folding. This is going to make it so you can almost use it like an SMG. For the proficiency, you want to do vital. It's going to make this gun sometimes a 2-shot kill, leading to be very overpowered. On the kit, you want to do fully loaded to ensure that you have ammo for long streaks. For the rear grip, to make sure your first couple shots are very accurate, you want to do the stippled grip. On the magazine, you want to do the Russian short 30 round mags. This is going to make it a consistent 2-shot kill, leading to this gun being extremely overpowered. On the ammo type, you want to do the lengthen. Lastly, for the underbarrel, to increase the mobility of the weapon, you want to do the M3 ready grip. Here's a screenshot of the best best STG-44 setup in Vanguard. For the secondary, we are going to be going over the Krausnick, and this one honestly isn't that good. The 1911 or the ratt is way better. Here's a screenshot of the best Closer setup in Vanguard. For the next gun I want to go over, this is going to be a very underrated AR, and that's the NZ41. So if you guys didn't know, this thing can actually two-shot up to like long range, and so this makes it one of the best ARs in the game. Although there is some weird recoil after about 20 shots, and so I recommend firing 10 to 20 shots, stopping your fire, and then re-engaging your fire to reset the recoil. On the muzzle, I like to do the Mercury silencer because it makes it so the enemies really don't know where I'm at. Say you want to maximize that damage range and the recoil control, do the F8 stabilizer. This is also a very good attachment. On the barrel, to increase the accuracy of the weapon, you want to do the orb weaver, and this is kind of a must because there's some weird horizon on the gun. On the optic, you want to do the slate reflector or a side of your choice. On the stock, because this gun has a very weird recoil, I like to do the orb weaver elite, or I like to do the orb weaver e-pack. It's kind of personal preference. Say you want some more mobility, try out the orb weaver folding. On the proficiency, I like to do the frenzy because this gun has a very fast TTK. You're going to get lots of engagements, and so it's going to make it so you can have full health when you engage in the next gunfight. On the kit, you want to do fully loaded to ensure that you have ammo. On the rear grip, because this gun gets more recoil as you fire, you want to do the polymer. It's going to fight back against it. On the magazine, I actually prefer not to run one because if you look at all the pros and the cons, they're all pretty weird. The only one I might run is the 20 round fast mag, but I like to have an option to fire 30 bullets even though the recoil gets so weird after 20. Lastly, on the underbarrel, you want to do the M1941 hand stop. This is going to give you the maximum amount of recoil control. Here's a screenshot of the best NZ41 class setup in Vanguard. With all that said, the next secondary I want to cover, this is going to be the top break, and again, I don't really recommend using it over the RAP or the 1911. And here's the screenshot for the best top break setup in Vanguard. But so anyways, we are going to be going over the Kar 98. I believe this is the best sniper in Vanguard. On the muzzle, to make it so you get more one-shot kills, you want to do the F8 stabilizer. On the barrel, you want to do the 560 just to maximize the ADS speed. On the optic, I don't like to use one. I feel like it's a lot more satisfying to snipe with the default scope, but this is personal preference, and so if you want to run a sight, run a sight. On the proficiency, you want to do the quit scope. This is going to make it so there's a little bit less bloom after your ADS. If you didn't know, the accuracy is actually going to reduce the bloom, and if you don't know what bloom is, it's pretty much after you fire, your bullet's not going to go where you aim. On the rear grip, you want to do the fabric to also increase the mobility as much as possible. And lastly, for the underbarrel, you want to do the flashlight. You're going to be able to see name tags at very long distances, making it very easy to see the enemies, and so you can quit scope. So if the enemy gets first shot off, there's a high chance that you're not going to kill them, and so this is going to make it so you can see them sometimes first. Here's the screenshot for the best Kar 98 setup in Vanguard. For the last secondary I want to go over, this is going to be the machine pistol, and this thing is horrible. Do not even level this thing up. With all that said, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did find this video helpful at all, a like is greatly appreciated, and if you want to see more videos just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But so anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.